But Idra is slowly pulling farther and farther ahead. HuK is now beginning to wall off this northern front, and his Dark Shrine is almost done. And this is a pretty late Dark Shrine, so really, HuK needs to have some kind of, plan to be able to get these Dark Templars around, do some harassment, or he could be going Archon. We did see that HuK was a fan of going Archons against Terran when he did have a gas excess, but in this circumstance, HuK might want to save his gas for other things, and it looks like HuK going to try to do a little bit of poke, but ooh, when you see that much creep that far spread forward, you do get a little hesitant and back up. Oh, here comes a whole bunch of DTs moving towards the center of the map, but Idra way too good for that. 1 DT falls, 2 DT falls, they explode into little gumballs onto the ground. And HuK just has some Stalkers up here, probably intended for that Xel'Naga Watchtower. Looks like that +2 is coming up, and meanwhile back in Idra's base, he does have this +1 melee attack, Evolution Chamber, a little idle, no hive yet. There is the Infestation Pit, and Idra finally pulling back, playing a little more defensively, and 2 Dark Templars managing to sneak in here from HuK. Does Idra actually know about these? And I hit the back button, so here we go. 2 more Dark Templars. Who would have thought? Oh, I would have, because I accidentally rewound the replay in the middle of the stream. And these 2 Dark Templar now heading up into the 2 expansions of Idra. One going into the main. Oh, Idra looks like he doesn't have any detection here. This Dark Templar is already starting to whack away at this drone count. Idra hasn't noticed yet. Oh, no! Idra has no idea he's sending an Overseer now. We'll be able to kill that off, but this other Dark Templar is killing off so much. HuK has already queued these up, and now Idra having to back up and try to defend his main as well. And in the meantime, look at these Stalkers pushing forward, trying to kill Overseers and Overlords, but 2 getting caught off guard. Idra not abandoning the center completely. More cannons going up for HuK, and his 3rd Nexus is complete as well. This one Dark Templar in the top right did manage to get some good kills, as well as this one at the natural expansion. But even so, Idra up at 154 food. HuK still at 112. That 6 Warp Gate push right at the start ended up backfiring quite hard. But HuK just walling his front off with Gateways. Very smart play. No reason to keep a path open here when he already has this one here. And especially this is smart, because if all these troops are moving northward, it makes this top gold expansion much more easily defended. Tons of units being massed up in the center. Looking around, Roach Speed has gone down. +1 melee attack. +2 melee attack, +2 carapace. Idra is currently 1-0. He has that +1 armor upgrade right now. And Idra still being very responsible about checking these Xel'Naga Watchtowers regularly to make sure that there's nothing too dangerous coming up at the front. And Idra doing a very good job pulling that back in time. Gold Expo also going down for Idra. And whoopsie daisies, yeah, don't ever try to scout his base, Idra, or there will be Stalkers warped in underneath you to not kill you. A little bit of a blunder there to, take that down to red live without getting the kill. But either way, that's one of the great utilities of warp gates. You don't ever really have to make those sorts of huge decisions. You can easily warp in units and then pull them back at the right time. Now, this is a little bit curious. HuK has not taken his 2nd gas geyser. Perhaps it was shot down by some of Idra's units from this low ground. But Infestation Pit is a Hive coming up. Hive is finally done now in the Ultralisk Cavern. Very popular unit late game for Zerg. It's great against Colossus, but as we can see, HuK is just continuing to make ground units. He's at the +1 attack upgrade. He is not getting +3 yet. He's instead going for the armor. More Warp Gates up. No clue why this Gas Geyser is not up. Very, very surprised not to see that up. That is a gigantic mistake. But once you start getting a lot of Zealots and a lot of Stalkers, you can end up in a very, very good situation against this sort of composition by Idra. See, Idra's maxed now. Idra's at 197 food. He has finally gotten his Ultralisk Cavern up, and he's getting that chitinous plating. There's a lot of Ultralisks in the production tab. We can see that 5 Ultralisks are en route. But, if HuK just waits until he is maxed as well, he can easily get into a very scary position and end up sweeping across the north side of the map and then down and hollowing out Idra's main. Trying to look around here, and there finally is the Gas Geyser. Whoopsie daisies, running on about 3 geysers for way too long. Look at this giant death army from HuK. The one thing I think it's missing is the Immortal. There it is, HuK. Thank you very much for listening to me through time and space, but HuK waiting until he's maxed, getting a huge number of Zealots, and replenishing into this force. A little bit of one control group syndrome going on. 54 units hotkeyed in 1, and it looks like Idra is spreading his units out. There's some Zerglings here. Here are the Roaches, the Hydralisks, and of course, all of his hatches, and ooh, Ultralisks. Nice, juicy, delicious fat cows to just rampage across the battlefield. Some players like them a little bit less than in Starcraft 1, but that doesn't make them still awesome. So here comes a huge push by Idra. HuK looks like he's the one in the defensive position right now. HuK getting caught at kind of a weird angle, throwing down 2 Guardian Shields. Oh, I do not like the way that right flank looks. These Zealots are trying to spread out. That one Immortal is up there in the battle now. I don't see any storms. There's some great storms going down there by HuK, doing unbelievable damage to those Hydralisks, and HuK trying to pull back. He's morphing in more ranged units to abuse this tight pathway, and a lot of those Roaches and Hydralisks are walking right into those storms, and it looks like HuK was able to repel Idra successfully for the time being. HuK currently up 1-0. Idra needs to win this game to even have a hope of making it out of his group, as he did lose 2-0 to Tester previously, so both players really hunkering for a win at this point in time. Nothing but gateways. 2 forges continuing to upgrade. Bottom right has been taken by Idra. This gold is up and operational. Upgrades continuing to pop out for Idra, as he now is getting 3-3 upgrades for his melee units. It looks like HuK has no intention at any point in time of attacking, just going to turtle. But Idra looks like he might be trying to exploit the fact that HuK wants to kill those destructible rocks. Here comes another big push by Idra. The Concave is with HuK. If he can pinch him off at that choke, are there any storms? There's some beautiful storms. Oh, the Hydralisks off creep are taking full damage from those storms. There's an Archon morphing in at the front. Those Immortals need to shoot the Ultralisks. It looks like this bottom Immortal is getting some good shots off. And in the midst of this, a Nexus is trying to warp in. More Immortals coming in, but really not that many more units left over from Idra. Idra trying to get in there with more Hydralisks, but without speed. All of them will get pinned. Oh my god, holy Ultralisks. Batman, that is going to spell disaster for that small number of Stalkers. I thought Idra was done with that attack for sure, but Idra showing where that extra 50 food was coming from, as he is getting plenty of Ultralisks to reinforce. That did not manage to get canceled. It was killed completely. More Ultralisks just surrounding his opponent. HuK is trying to chrono boost as many Immortals as he can, and good game. HuK running low on money, and Idra having the whole map in a very clear upgrade advantage. HuK looks like he was unable to close out the series, and we are currently tied up 1-1. So with that, we will be going into Game 3 in just a moment. I just wanted to do a little bit more plugging of our wonderful sponsor, Razer, for providing the prize pool for the King of the Beta tournament. This tournament will be running at 7 p.m. Pacific, Sunday through Friday. So absolutely tune in if you are so available. For any of you who don't know, it is Tuesday where I live right now. So there will still be 3 more days of casting, days 4, 5, and 6. Top 2 will pop out of those groups and be seeded into the Final 4. And the Final 4 will be casted live in front of a live audience at Harvey Mudd College in Los Angeles, California on July 26th, the day before our savior game Starcraft 2 is released. So you should definitely check out the details to that event at where are the details to my event? Let me try it again. It is at day9tv.eventbrite.com. I will be back in 20 to 30 to 40 seconds because once again it is just your friendly host Sean Day9 Plotcasting, and my throat is sadly not made out of honey, so I do need to get some water. I will be back in about 40 seconds with Game 3.